Hey, what's up, everybody? It's me, Danae, and I'm here with a message for you. Happy Thursday. Today is 7/11, one of my favorite holidays. It's not really a holiday, but if you're into this sort of thing, it's the day that 7-Elevens across the nation give away free Slurpees all day long. And one time when I was living in New York, me and my cousin bounced around from 7-Elevens, all over the city. And we had to set the record for Slurpees that day, which was quite ridiculous, but it was fun. I don't actually think I'm going to be having one today, though, because coincidentally, I actually had my favorite flavor is Coke, a Coke Slurpee or Coke Icy. And I actually had one yesterday, my son and I did. So I don't really need, nothing beats free, but it's not really on my agenda to go get a Slurpee today. So I probably won't, but I hope that you do. Go get you a free one while supplies last. Or those small cups, I should say, that if depending on what part of town you in, it may not be all day because they only designate a certain size. But also 7-Eleven is like, a lucky number as well, considerably. It has a charge of luck and fortune and favor on your side. So, maybe go play a nickel slot if that is even a thing. I don't know. I haven't been to a casino in years, but or get you a scratch off or something like that. But try your luck today. Maybe ask for something that you wouldn't normally ask for with the expectation that you're actually gonna get it, So it might be a lucky day today. Who knows? Also, side note, by the time you watch this, you will have already noticed that there was a message that posted today. Similar thing that happened today as last time, where I thought it posted last night. It was already late when I posted, but I thought it finished last night. I didn't realize that it didn't until today, and then it took its sweet old time uploading today as well. So it's a bit of a backup in the post, but that's okay. Hopefully you got a chance to check out that message because it was an empowering one, I think. And now you have another one, so you're welcome. I guess it is your lucky day. The moon card. Ooh, okay, what's this? 8 of Wands. This is great expectations, but of what though? When the moon is in the mix with the 8 of Wands, it automatically has me considering what is somebody in anticipation of or for. Because it wouldn't be the darkness, it wouldn't be fears, it wouldn't be obscurity unless it's for the intentions of projecting it outward, i.e. spell work is or some type of negative projections, or deflection of some unfavorable energy is what I'm feeling here. It's a bit soon to say, but that's what I'm feeling. Yeah. That somebody has an expectation on a return for some energy that they projected. But usually when the 8 of Wands is in the mix in that way, it signifies some type of backfire or backlash. So I don't know if it's quite, let's see, ooh, to the King of Wands. Oh yeah, if it's anything sent to him, you can guarantee it's coming back. He's gonna shoot first and ask questions later. not a wise target. As a matter of fact, it's like it's empowering. Attacks are empowering to the energy of the King of Wands, where it would be meant to deplete or disable. It actually works to empower. So that's the gotcha, which would in fact attribute to it backfiring against someone's expectations, if that was the case. Yeah, it's like attacks, he eats those. And it's like not even, and that is the backfire, that is the counterattack. The fact that whatever was intended, it's like it made it all right, but it didn't do what it was supposed to do. It actually enhanced or strengthened the offense or defense of the King of Wands, meaning that if he wanted to counterattack, you really better run for cover. But the fact that the King of Wands having alchemizing power and capabilities typically can transmute whatever forces are pit against him for him. And that could be masculine or feminine. We got the moon here, which could be Pisces and also Cancer. Yeah, and a lot of fire energy. That could be Aries, Leo, or Sagittarius, none of which are willing to back down from a good fight in different ways. Or at least embody the confidence, courage, and boldness to stand their ground, you know, no matter what the resistance may be. So yeah, let's see what we got here. Let me shuffle a bit. Then we got the Knight of Cups. That's that's the apology, like trying to smooth things over, offer an olive branch, you know, like yeah, no, with it, because they see some type of value in connecting. They see more value in being in partnership and in connection than being an enemy at this time. But it's like that Knight of Cups, that's a finesse and a seduction, a seductive offer. It's like definitely with ulterior motives. And at this point, yeah, when you see the Ace of Pentacles is involved, of course you might change your tune, but what matters is your intentions before you recognize the benefit or the opportunity or the value. It's like that's what truly matters, you know. Yeah, exactly. Five of Cups. Somebody's, I feel, disappointed with themselves, and also disappointed in, by way of disappointment in themselves, it doesn't feel like remorse where they're sorry for their loss or sorry for their actions. They're literally in regret, sorry for their loss, what they've missed out on, or what they maybe consider they could have done differently to clinch the win that they were looking for, or the outcome that they intended. But Five of Cups, it's not an empathetic frequency. Not really. It's somebody feeling sorry for themselves. And yeah, that's the Temperance card, which is like, well, it's kind of the balance of the universe at this time, you know, especially if there was a lack of self-control and moderation or balance and fairness with whatever the intention, the initial intentions were, particularly if they were against anyone. You know, it's one thing how we treat ourselves, and still we have to answer for that to ourselves. But when you take the liberty to impress and deflect energies to others, you're way out of jurisdiction. And then that's when Oh, we still got the moon underneath. That's when the temperance, i.e. Archangel Michael, has to come regulate. And here's the high priestess. Ooh, that's the high priestess with the moon. Could be double Cancer energy. Could be, I think I said before that the high priestess was Pisces, and I'm pretty sure I'm wrong about that. I think it's Cancer, but the moon is Pisces, but I attribute it to Cancer, of course, because Cancer is ruled by the moon. So we could be talking about somebody with double Cancer. Ultimately, what it's signifying is extra sensory sensibility, you know, emotional intelligence that is pretty intense, let's say, you know, maybe even a bit spot on, whatever that, take that for whatever it's worth. And then we got the Death card in the moon. Yeah, it's transformative. The things that you may see or perceive in the spirit have deep impact and great impact, either to make a change upon whomever the word is impressed, even for yourself or on a circumstance, a situation, or to just, or, you know, however it's ingested makes an impression, even beyond or before, or whether or not it's expressed. Yeah, so that's the value that's being seen. Wow, okay, well that makes sense. That somebody's recognizing what a commodity they may have lost out on, of someone that has incredible insight and foresight and is grounded in that facility. That's a hot commodity right now, certainly. And if we're talking about Pisces with the moon, that also is that combination, my God, that combination doubling down to, again, be able to make great impressions of your, flip that, great expressions of your impressions, whether that be verbally or materially, because Pisces is about dreams and the creation of, the materialization of ideals into fruition. And Cancer is all about the force fuel by which that gets to happen. So the connection of those two energies together in one embodiment, oh hell yeah. Somebody would want to possess that. And the regret is that they once upon a time took, here it is, liberty to possess it or to repress it. And now they've missed out on having access to it. So hence the Five of Cups, hence now the Knight of Cups advancement to make amends, you know, to mend broken bridges perhaps, to reconnect, because simply again on account of regaining possession and or even access, I mean, even settling for access or some type of connection at this point. I don't like it. Why am I throwing the cards this way today? Okay, I'm gonna stick with it. I haven't done this in a long time. And here's the Knight of what's his name? The Knight of, this is still at the bottom? Oh, I didn't switch it up. That's why. I didn't switch it up. But this is the Knight of Pentacles making an offering to the moon. So this could be something, you know, some attempts through, didn't I say something about spell work? I did, didn't I? Yeah, I did. So this could have been some offering that was made for, you know, under mystical terms, that maybe why someone was kind of stuck in waiting for this return in the Three of Wands energy in the very beginning, because it was a slow burn. It wasn't really happening. It didn't seem to be happening. It certainly wasn't happening fast. And there seemed to be much more progression happening beyond what would have been the intention, again, for someone to kind of impose a delay onto someone else's advancement, either so that they could maybe catch up to it, or to just, you know, become a blockage altogether on account of what they can't access anymore. Yeah, so what was that again? That was, oh, I done flipped too many cards at this point, but the beginning was, oh, this is someone trying to slow down your downloads. Maybe even trying to, I sense this, like, offer, this is what the projection was, confusion or slow processing of your intel. Again, considering that High Priestess and Moon card synergy. This was someone that may have been trying to distort that channel in some way, shape, or form, or at least slow down the processing or the downloads or frequency of the intel. And this is also Cancer. Yeah, so somebody was doing a lot of maybe psychological projecting or emotional deflecting. But what's with the Pentacle energy, though? Maybe trying to slow down some information. Well, that's probably the material idea of it, is the information or confirmation of your intuition. Yes, because that would allow you to move forward quite victoriously, to actually have like physical receipts for what you sense in the spirit. That's just way too confirming for someone that is against your development. You know, like for you to actually have no reasonable doubt for your ability to intuit is a threat to probably a lot of people, but particularly to someone that feels like they may be in competition with you. And also with the Chariot is, you know, to have a strong will and a firm foundation, you know, like a fixed focus on how you get to wield that gift, more or less, is what it is. You know, not just somebody all willy-nilly, like just saying anything, doing anything, being irresponsible with that favor, you know, and fortune at the same time, but somebody that's very focused and intentional. That's what I'm really getting with the Chariot card. Very intentional about how they receive information, downloads, uploads, whatever the intel may be, even signs and signals in their surroundings, and then how they assert or apply that information. Somebody wants wants access to that resource for themselves, where once before they tried to possess it for themselves unjustifiably, maybe even corruptively, if that's the word, corruptly, or corruptedly, I don't know, one of them, and failed, which is the reason for the 5 of Cups. So now it's just like they for whatever reason, this is like insistence that they still, you know, want to try to find a way to reclaim some type of connection again, or have some, maybe even offer some small investment to reestablish a connection that has otherwise clearly been broken, because this guy's going this way. This Chariot is facing forward. It's like, it's probably too little too late at this point with the Knight of Pentacles. Especially if you were up to no good. It's like, why? Somebody that you acknowledge has a great deal of insight. Yeah, with this, here he go again, but he can't help himself, because whomever it is lustful for power. Maybe lustful for clout, or just like insanely competitive and or insecure. And it's like, well, if you can't beat them, join them. But even if you can't beat them, join them. Intention is no good, because it's not really for the, you know, for a balanced, harmonious, equal give and take dynamic. It's to find a way to dominate over what they want to possess again, and that possession may actually be you. Like, here it is, this lustful, impulsive, wildly ambitious nature as the Knight of Wands. Like, and how is this here again? Oh, it was on the bottom before. Wow, okay, I guess, like, I'm confused of how these cards keep popping up. And again, Cancer energy, so some significance of this season where some things may be revealed. What's this? The 7 of Wands. Yeah, a matter of protection or standing your ground. Perhaps because you are upholding, or you've maybe established some more stringent boundaries, is why there's been a loss of connection or a loss of access, of which someone is trying to regain. But they're trying to do it psychologically. Now that we got all this is a lot of watery energy. And then, but it's like, you can't infiltrate a psychological space without the proper clearance, first of all, because this could also be the police, but also without the proper I keep hearing tools, but it's not tools. It's like trying to clearance is really a great word, but it's something more about like qualifications, or like, I don't know how to say this. It's like somebody's trying to infiltrate a space that they don't really have the skills and gifts. They don't really have the power, let's say. You know, they could have the brightest idea in the world, but it's something about the finishing or the execution or something of what they're trying to accomplish. They don't have it. So if we can say this mystically, if it's somebody at that Three of Wands that's trying to send negative projections or trying to send psychic projections or to do some type of astral traveling, or you know all the mystical type stuff that people just do too much of, especially when they don't have access or clearance to do. And when you don't have good intentions, you automatically don't have access. So they go one and the same. They go hand in hand. And that's the issue here. Maybe that's the void, is that someone, they've already run out of their, it's like somebody's badge has expired, you know, where they used to have certain clearances before. At least, you know, it might not even have been a legitimate badge. Maybe they stole it, or, you know, somehow they fabricated access to energies and spaces that they really didn't have clearance or authority to enter. And now that has been revoked in some way, shape, or form. And that's evident in the backfire of this launch of attack. As I said in the beginning, like if you're gonna launch an attack with the Eight of Wands to the King of Wands, there's some ignorance or some, I don't know, there's something there. Maybe lack of knowledge and, you know, sound perspective to know that at this point, whatever you do to be effectual to someone outside of you, not only is it going to backfire to you, but it'll actually work in the favor of advancement to whomever was the intended target. So it's like without these basic knowledge, this basic knowledge and understanding, someone is just, I don't know what they're doing, to be honest. Like, I don't know. Just taking shots in the dark at this point, maybe out of desperation, again, which it kind of goes in line with someone just wanting to be a part or just wanting to stay connected, because whatever it is that they want to be connected to means something to their ego and to their pride, and it feels worse to be shut out or disconnected. That blow for them is harder to bear than the blow of continuous failure on account of doing something that's just not admissible anymore. Even if it once was, it's not anymore. It doesn't have the same effect. It doesn't make the same impact. It actually does the opposite of what you want it to do. And it's exhausting at that. So the more that you persist, the less power, the more power it's draining. Okay. So that's what I'm saying. It's something about somebody not really having the power to do what they're trying to do. And the more they're trying to do it, the less power that they come up with, because they're admitting all of their power into every effort that they make. You know, it's like somebody at this point has got to be accepting of reality as it is. You know, that it's not that what it is not an illusion. What they're trying to project is an illusion, even unto them, to continue to feel like they have the authority, liberty, and empowerment to do it. You know, it's just like somebody's just fighting against the truth. They're refusing to accept it. So let's say, and it's all for the purposes of moving forward overall, you know, like no one being held back at this point, and to get out of this rut of, you know, stagnancy and stuckness to some degree, stuck at this illusion and delusion at this point. Yeah, this is somebody that probably, you know, could have tried to enact some type of ritual or intention over this past new moon, and may still be trying to surge through, you know, gear up through the surge of this second Capricorn full moon. And that will be a big mistake. I'll just say that. That will not be wise. Because the energies are powerful, they're potent, which is why they're coming up. You know, the moon card has come up in Cancer energy, but it's reserved for productivity and prosperity. It has an adverse effect, and this is just free game, on anything or anyone else acting in an adverse energy. If you're not going to leverage that frequency to take control of your life, okay, yeah, see, look, I'm gonna take both of these. This is somebody that is insistent upon rerunning the past, trying to get back to that moment in time when they had the upper hand, or when they had a certain level of access or ability or leverage, even dominance in a situation. And they're trying to do it in an aggressive way, like insistent upon reclaiming that reality that this is Six of Cups. It's already past and gone. That could be past life, past season. No matter what it is, it doesn't exist in that same frequency anymore. It's not the same energy. And someone is like refusing to submit to that. So it could even be like somebody refusing to let go of a connection, maybe an old relationship, a friendship, because this could be family, friends, intimate, it could be anything, but refusing to accept the new reality of what really, let's call it what it is, that something is over with the Death card here. A lot of things have come to an end. Someone's access, maybe the impression someone was once able to make through mystical matters, the return and reward that they once were able to obtain for it or from it, the success and recognition and advancement that they could have had. Like, of course, it makes sense that somebody is depressed that they're losing all of this favor and fortune, but Temperance card, it was gained out of order and out of divine order, I would say, for the most part, and not in balance. So that balance has to be restored for anything could be reclaimed. Any semblance of the past could be reclaimed, but certainly not to regress or resurrect the past exactly as it was for what it was. That's not going to happen. No matter how many rituals you do, how many entities you call on or summons, no matter how many psychological projections you make, no matter how many stories you narrate. You know, like somebody could put their entire back into running back the past, and it's still like that Eight of Wands. You cannot stop the universe from evolving when it's time to do so. And if anything, like I said, it's like somebody is going to literally exhaust themselves to the point of expiration if they insist. Let's see what else we have. To the point of expiration, I tell you. Like, did I do that again? I think I messed up again. I did, but you know what? It must be for a purpose. Because I was going to say, like, there's so many endings. It's like the handwriting is on the wall. And somebody just has far too much to lose and gain at the same time to accept it. That a season has come to not only an end, but a completion at the 10. And the issue is that somebody's taken a great loss that has put them in a position to have to start over. And that's devastating. They just can't fathom a reality where they're not in total control and dominance. Yeah, I did it right that time. Here is this. Good Lord. More intuitive energy under the moon card. Yeah, this is a feminine energy. We're just going to call a spade a spade. This is somebody that used to have a relationship, or maybe just women in general, kind of like under their spell, or, you know, yeah, with the Knight of Cups, somebody that's just like very seductive in nature and maybe even charming, you know, extremely charming as well. But also very lustful, because we saw the Knight of Wands too. No kings as of yet, just hella knights. And now this Page of Wands. So it's just giving somebody that is either very immature, actually younger than what they are, you know, pursuing or whatever. I don't know. Either way, there's a lack of maturity here, maybe just a lack of wisdom. And someone's been able to supplement, yeah, but a whole lot of ego though, a whole lot of bravado. So someone's been able to supplement their deficiency of wisdom and honor and uprightness through their conquest as all these knights. You know, to be able to pretty much seize a moment, seize an opportunity, seize a resource, seize a deal, seize a person, captivate a person. You know, they've relied on the seduction of power to project a certain illusion of their true, here it is, their true capabilities. Because didn't I say it's like somebody doesn't have the power, somebody doesn't really possess the hype that they have projected of themselves. They don't even, I don't even know if they believe the hype, or maybe they do, and that's also the problem. The delusion is that they kind of do, but the reason that they do is because of what they're able to fabricate, you know, not because they truly possess it organically and naturally. It's what they've ultimately been able to seize and create, manufacture in some, because it's not a manifestation here. It's about like almost manipulating and manufacturing an ideal of power and creativity, maybe even stealing it from other people, you know, or borrowing, you know, absorbing frequencies from other people and kind of cloaking themselves in it and presented it as their own. But again, what I talked about is a loss of access through their old antics. So somebody can't really, they can't front anymore. It's like now is the season where you kind of really have to show and prove what you're made of. Otherwise, you'll be exposed, you know, because people aren't really as, at least the people that matter for the most part, that would have the most to offer an energy such as this, aren't really as vulnerable and naive to illusions, maybe even gullible, I would say, as they were before. Codependent even with the Six of Cups energy. This is now an advancement to the Queen of Cups. The Queen of Cups is not dependent on anyone else validating their emotions or even their intuitive nature. Like nothing on the outside necessarily needs to validate a Queen of Cups, of which we've already seen the High Priestess with the moon, you know, like you don't need for someone to affirm like, yes, you're correct. Yes, you're on point. Yes, you know, you are justified to feel how you feel or believe what you believe. You know, no, that's not necessary. You know, it's enough for someone to trust themselves, and that is an enemy to someone that would look to be manipulative or to be like more or less narcissistic, you know, or even vampiristic on other people's energy force. For you to actually know what you possess, know that it's a hot commodity, and know how to protect yourself, also have insight and foresight, and, you know, are able to kind of see things for what they are and for what, you know, beyond what they appear to be. It's like somebody wants to run back the time when someone was insecure and maybe didn't trust themselves as much. They may have had all the facility to do so, but didn't really have the confidence and the courage to stand their ground, that Seven of Wands energy, to stand their ground on what they know to be true, Ace of Wands, Ace of Swords, and then actually assert that confidence. Oh, hell no, that's not something anybody planned on. And it definitely doesn't benefit them. You know, there's nothing anybody in this frequency can extract from someone that's in that vibration. So they're trying to run it back to, and that's what the psychic projections are for. It might even be psychic attacks now that I'm saying this. So if you sense particularly a lot of ideals coming up within you internally that are adverse to who you are and your most confident nature, like things that maybe start to make you recoil into your own insecurities, questioning your qualifications, you know, or your own intuition, questioning your feelings. Maybe I'm thinking too much, I'm doing too much. Do I have enough? Am I qualified? Am I worthy? Like all, you know, the things that kind of make you backtrack and are counterintuitive to what you've already established as truth for yourself. Release that energy. Is probably not yours. It's probably not yours. It's probably a deflection, again, of these energies here that and maybe in spirit, maybe in truth, want to project some cause for doubt within you, because if they can plant just a small seed of doubt and insecurity, it would ultimately incite you to question everything. You know, everything you knew, everything you know, and then perhaps even question what information is to come or what opportunities may be to come, to almost feel like you can't trust yourself to discern anything, you know, like to take care of yourself. And that's the regression back to codependency that somebody would want you to be in, so that they could come in like some knight in shining armor and so-called save the day, ultimately reasserting and establishing this falsehood or facade of power that they know they just don't have naturally, and they can't earn honorably because they don't have honorable intentions. Hell no. Nope. So what that could look like, if you're, and this doesn't have to be limited to one person, but if you find yourself in a space and time, yeah, look at this. You already on your way, well established in success, and if you're not, that's where you're going, and that's where somebody wants to interject, like trying to catch you before you get too far ahead, too far ahead of yourself. They want to bring you back to size, or when you weren't so unsure and insecure that you were afraid to step out on faith or speak your mind or stand firm on what you believe in, or to be confident in your gifts and talents and abilities, whatever they are. Because the high priestess and, you know, even Pisces energy and Cancer energy, it's a matter of the comfort that you cultivate within your personal being. You know, like Cancer energy, who you are within that shell and also outside of that shell, vulnerable to the outside world. And then Pisces is the greatest ideal of all of that, creating the world in which you can feel safe and sound to be your authentic self. And, you know, with those two energies working in your favor, you're really unstoppable. And the only thing, people, place, or thing that could align with you in that frequency is something or someone or some place that is an asset to it, that adds value. And someone's pitfall is just how intentional they are on not meaning you well. That's their biggest pitfall. And it's so sad, because it's like, if you would transmute that energy into something really productive at this point, you could have gained access long time ago to everything that you wanted and more. But someone's ego is so fragile, and they're so driven by pride and this false idea of a competition that doesn't even exist, that they don't even have the capacity, again, the power to do what's best for them. They can't see that broad. Their perspective is too impaled by their pride. And that's really unfortunate. That really is unfortunate. And I messed up again, but not really. I mean to put the deck on top, so I have a different card on the bottom, and I keep putting it on the bottom for some reason this time around. But I'm also shuffling face up, and I don't know why I'm doing that either, so we're just gonna roll with it. But yeah, somebody doesn't want you to step out in faith and with, you know, carefree, without the baggage of insecurity or fear or anxiety. No, they at least want to load you up with all the worry and fear and doubt that they've ever known you to have, including their own. If they can deflect that onto you too, that'd be great. That'd be awesome, actually. But anything to kind of stop you from gaining this all-powerful access to confidence and creativity that is just irrefutable. It's indomitable, and it's unlimited. And they want it, which they have an entitlement to it on their own merit, but they don't want to do the work to gain it on their own merit, because for so long they've had great success gaining it by the merit of others. Those others that have been willing to put in the work, or just naturally are that work, if you feel me, you know, like just innately powerful, creative beings, you know, naturally intuitive, naturally dreamers and manifestors. That's who they identify to target in order to siphon from. And it's just not happening anymore. It's like, I don't know what it's going to take for that message to be loud and clear that nobody that is operating in the frequency of their integrity and in their supreme nature, at least being dedicated and devoted to it, is falling for the same old tricks. And not to mention that even if they do, it's still going to be more of a backfire, more backlash against the one who perpetuates that advancement at this point. You're not going to gain what you want, and you're also going to make your situation that much worse to recover from. It's not happening like that anymore. The moon was never here to be exploited as people's personal satellite for sinister acts. That's like an abuse of the celestial elements. And you thought the supreme source of all things, of all, was going to stand for that forever? Like, what type of liberty do you think you have to take with such precious things that were here for our advancement and for us to co-create with? And you manipulate and monopolize those frequencies for your own gratification? Gots to chill, man. That's not leading anywhere fast or good. That's a one-way ticket to hell. Right here on earth at that. All right, I'm gonna do it right this time. On top, here we go with the Four of Wands. This is what I was talking about making yourself at home, having sanctuary, security, not just in your physical residential home, but also in whatever you establish yourself with or in, like there being a harmony and synergy and balance within that. Perhaps because you are there, there's that. Hold up, something ain't right. What happened here? Something's off. How is it off? Because this could kind of, I might just need to move some things over. Y'all know how I get, so just excuse me. But and it was pretty damn straight too, which is what sucks. But yeah, it's like that. It's time to restore this on a universal level. That's the order of the divine, whether you agree with it or not. It doesn't even matter. What's on the bottom? How did it get there when I did it right this time? I'm confused. It was on the top, it was on the bottom first, right? Yeah, it was, so I guess that's right. I suppose, I don't know, I'm a little confused. But there is no real confusion. The cards are what they're supposed to be, regardless of what I did. this is the order. But this is the new beginning, you know, of peace and harmony, of which we all are calling into order. You know, well, those of us that have a mind to, we're holding space for it. And that's what is you know, allowing the universe to do its thing with less resistance, because we are less resistant or less distracted from, or I guess more so distorted out of that order. Oh, I see what's going on here. It's not gonna be straight because of how these are. I get it. Okay, so that's fine. Yeah, so anyway, you're a yes to that journey. You've been a yes for a long time. And it's like, it's not even a mystery as to why you're being favored in the way that you are. It's just that someone doesn't want some energies, not even a one, there are multiples. This is just a representative of many. Don't want to accept that you have the right to that favor, while they, like here we go again, King of Pentacles, while they may not, but they're not even idealizing it as good fortune and spirit. They just idealize the material return and reward. And there lies the issue. That is the point of disparity, because of someone's infatuation with material gain in the first place. What's this house situation with the Fool, though? Maybe somebody moving to a new house. It could even be like just as primitive, not primitive like it doesn't matter, because child, it does. But it could be even as practical, is what I mean to say, as that, like literally someone being reestablished in a comfortable way, and that provokes resistance and jealousy. Provokes some type of adverse reaction. Yeah. Let's see. Well, World card. They just gonna have to deal with it, though. And here it is. This is the only king that came up as far as I can remember. Oh, the King of Wands. Yeah, so this is what somebody you desired of themselves to be, like kind of king of the world type of energy, but materially measured, though, materially considered. The king of the world, for real, is that frequency of self-control, you know, of knowing, again, back to the beginning, knowing how to alchemize any circumstance or situation without being self-destructive in your reactions and responses, without being lustful to initiate some type of agenda or effort for, you know, exclusively sensual satisfaction, like not to fall into those pitfalls of carnality that often, you know, put you in a position to do something that you'll regret, you know, that doesn't lead to the outcome that you initially desired. There are other ways that lead to that outcome, but they're honorable. They're the ways of the Knight of Pentacles in the most upright, that take time and effort and dedication and integrity to cultivate. It's like some don't want it that way. Still, even having all the evidence in the world that the old way is not effective in the new world, literally in the new world, they still insist on having it that way, or refuse to try it any other. And again, that is very unfortunate, because the world is moving on with or without that resistance. And those that are in submission to that evolution are going to find themselves in favor and fortune with it. And those that are against it will find themselves out of that alignment. And as I said, eventually will exhaust themselves mentally, spiritually, physically, perhaps even, well, I said physically, but yeah, mentally, spiritually, emotionally, and perhaps even physically. There's no rest for the wicked now. You're going to have to turn this into a transformative experience in order to ultimately save yourself. Yeah. And those that are already operating on that level and, you know, on that path, just get to keep moving. That's it. No matter the projections, some, you know, even what people may actually try to say to you, information they might try to verbalize to you to discourage you along from, you know, to diminish your progress and discourage your advancement. Just eat it like the King of Wands does. Eat all of those eight of Wands for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and allow it to empower you to stand your ground that much more firmly, and to project your ideal future that much more forwardly, and you'll be there in a blink of an eye. Before they find their next insult to hurl your way, you will have already moved on into some new position of power by then, where none of it even matters, because it really, at that point, cancels itself out. Or what you would have to say about me or to me, or even what you think about me, can't matter in the progression of my power as it's being exemplified in real time, in true form. It just makes people look kind of crazy at that point. Once again, exhausting their own energy for worthless efforts. So let them be great in the ways that they insist to be so, because they're great at that. If that's the case, no competition here, while you keep on pushing toward the greatness of your personal legacy, perhaps the legacy of a lineage that you champion for, and even greater for creation overall, being a contributor that you are to divine consciousness. That's the true reward to continue to pursue. Is that it? I think so. Yeah, and the emphasis on your intuitive nature, like, don't let anybody challenge you to distrust yourself at this point in the game. It's what's gotten you so far. It's your a protective security measure within you, and it's also empowering for you for that thrust ahead. The only weapon in the arsenal really at this time is to make you second guess yourself. That's really the only weapon left, is to make you think that maybe you're wrong, or you got it wrong, or you're not enough, or maybe you shouldn't, or maybe you didn't. And everything is as it should be for a reason. And if you can continue on in that grace and gratitude, being open to the intel that is new every day, you know, that channel, that's keeping that channel clear for fresh information and new direction, that's what you are in submission to. Certainly not the rhetoric and commentary that ultimately is just white noise at this point. Hear it, but don't hear it. All right, so anyway, thank you for listening and watching. Until next time, as always, I leave you with peace.